Okay, everyone, now that Operation Natsuri was a success, we're going to be taking a break from the usual activities today, especially after I'm calming down from the rage I had after Sayori got my goddamn money from that bet.
Seriously, this song sounds like the Neighbours theme tune, the soap opera.
So you know what that means, guys. It's time for the festival! I think it'll help us figure out what to do for the festival, you know?
Oh yeah, festival day. This will be great.
Oh, Sayori and I came up with a really good plan.
Really? For the festival?
No, for your funeral.
Excuse me?
Nothing.
Yeah, so the plan is this, okay? I'll get the shovel.
I'll hit her with it.
This sounds like a terrible plan.
You and Yuri collect information ahead of time on which clubs and classes are doing food booths.
And then after we kill her, we serve her as food.
Then we take a map and plan the most efficient route, so we can get to most of them before the lines get too long.
Wait a minute. Something about this plan doesn't seem right. That's because it has nothing to do with the club.
Well, you have to let me finish.
Against my better judgment, but okay. Alright, fine, go ahead. You're lucky you're cute.
Right. So basically, we get all the food we can. Then we come back here, and when we all eat together.
Of course, it all comes down to food between you two.
That's all. Yes, it is.
Naturally.
Wow, I got tricked twice by the same joke. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Boo! Don't be a hater. It's not like you can come up with anything better.
Oh,
Look, even Yuri was thinking about it.
at two, Yuri?
No, I wasn't. I would really prefer to do something literature related.
Okay, fine, we'll get a cookbook then and do that.
We can eat together anytime. The festival is a unique opportunity. Besides, it's been quite a while since we've seen any new interest in the club.
Just imagine the new backgrounds that can be drawn for the festival. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. We really get a shot at showing people what the literature club is all about. Anime girls, manga,
Yes.
anime girls, novels.
Fighting, arguments.
Cupcakes.
I'll tell you what, we can do both, right? We'll make time for your food mission and still put together a public event.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm thinking superhero themed.
I was just joking, but that's a really good idea. I don't believe her.
Way to leave me hanging, Sayori.
I don't get the joke.
Well, I'm glad that's settled. Don't worry, you don't need to know. I think the question is how to come up with an event that demonstrates everything you can get out of a literature club.
Okay, so based on what I've seen of this game so far, I know everything you can get out of it. I'll go get the arguments, and then I'll get the noose, and then I'll get the knife, and I'll get a sick bucket for Natsuki.
Well, that's kind of different because everyone gets something different out of the club.
Okay, how about this? Ahem. Let's go around and have each of us talk about what we've gotten out of the club so far.
Feels.
Oh yeah, a bucket load of that. It could really help us figure out what kind of reputation we want to build.
Yeah,
Well, you got a reputation for scaring the shit out of people.
Yes, but we're trying to calm down from that.
That's too embarrassing.
oh, but you'd have so much to talk about.
That's exactly why.
I'm still smiling.
And that's good.
I'm sure Natsuki feels the same way.
Wait,
Hey,
what?
no influencing your girlfriend there.
Well, she's not my girlfriend.
Right,
but-
and I'm a pig who flies.
I didn't plan on arguing against her or anything. Why don't you just program yourself to fly then? I mean,
Don't know
it's
what
the
you're talking about.
It's the literature club. We talk about that stuff together, right?
What about you, Monica? Have you and Sayori gotten the room yet?
And the only way to get more comfortable is to suck it up and do it.
We're in a
Why,
room
as a
right
matter
now.
of Yeah, because we're not cowards.
You're not wrong. I'm sorry for being resistant.
It's not good to say suck it up because it sounds like their feelings don't matter.
But Sayori, it doesn't matter now what happens, because we'll never give up the fight.
Right, my bad. It's just a habit I need to break.
Good, good.
Well, anyway, who's gonna start?
I'll start.
Oh, God.
Be nice, Natsuri.
I was the first to join after all.
Wasn't I technically first since I formed the club? Yeah, wouldn't that be me? In the beginning, there was Monica after all.
No, I want to go first.
But I'm God, so shouldn't I go? I mean...
I'm cute and I'm
maybe.
pouting at you.
God damn it, my weaknesses! Fine, fine, you can start. I don't mind.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yay!
God, she always gets me every time with that
So-
cute look.
Gosh, it feels like so long ago. I think I joined because I wanted to have fun sharing poems with people.
With this awesome remix.
Yes. It seemed like it would be a safe way to express myself. You know, like if it's just a poem, then I can share it without feeling like I'm burdening everyone with my problems.
Yeah. A gentle way of putting it.
And I thought it would be a really good way to get to know other people too.
And you got to know at least three
Wow.
new
Yeah, you got
folks.
to know 3 people. Well done.
So yeah, I was really surprised when I walked in and it was just Monica.
Just Monica.
Monica.
I said the thing,
And I'm
you
so
did.
proud of you saying it, sweetie.
and she was sleeping.
We don't need to mention that part now. Don't remind me of that. Oh gosh, I have an image to maintain as the popular girl after all.
Yeah, but it seemed like so much fun to help start a new club.
Also, sleeping streams are literally a thing. I don't think people are going to give a shit about your image if you're napping, Monica.
So people pay money to watch people sleep now.
Yes.
Especially since writing helped me so much. I wanted to see it help other people too. But it ended up being me who was inspired, because I remember feeling like Monica was just so sweet and mature, and that I could trust her with anything.
But
Aw.
again, during the height of Big Brother's popularity, the live programs half the time were just as housemates sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh my big brother, Jesus.
Because Channel 4 literally had nothing, or E4 had literally nothing else to show.
It made me feel a lot less alone, having someone who knew even the bad things about me.
Big Brother, that certainly was a thing.
ITV are bringing it back.
Is that a wise idea?
No.
And at that point, I knew the literature club was going to be special for a lot of people.
Oh boy. Yeah, I felt the same way.
Sure you did, Monica.
It really helped give the club a more cohesive vision. If I do say so myself.
Yeah, and then Yuri joined, but she was still so different from us. And Natsuki, too.
I really just brought my manga collection from home.
I think for Yuri, it really helped for me to take the lead before she was able to open up a little.
She's a shrinking violet.
But Natsuki was kind of the opposite. But she wasn't ready to get really close to someone really quickly. I never really thought about that sort of thing.
You literally hug people without a moment's notice.
That plus her being a tsundere, yeah, not a good mix-up.
I really feel like I've gotten better at understanding people's different needs.
Very good.
And that makes me really happy, because my friends are just the most important thing to me.
So would you say Sayori's like the Pinkie Pie of the group?
And whatever new members we get, I want to help them in those ways too.
Who knows what new members we could get? Like a certain anime protagonist who just happens to be very handsome in a sense.
I don't know if I would have continued coming to the club if it weren't for you.
Come for the literature, stay for the cute girls.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Major?
Sorry, I know it wasn't too long ago. I was really short-sighted, sorry. The only reason I came was to find others who were into fantasy. I suppose that was my idea of making friends with people. And I remember feeling uncomfortable because you and I have such different energy.
Oh, that's one way of putting it.
I had such a specific idea of the kind of person I could be friends with, so when Sayori tried so hard to get to know me, I felt like I was just wasting her time. I think I was naive to assume that similar interests were the key component of friendship. Sayori and I were able to be friends because she always thinks about the needs of other people. That's something I never knew how to do, or even thought to do. What? But I stayed in the club thanks to that, and I started trying as hard as I could to understand people better.
You really went above and beyond when it came to that. I was just super impressed.
Well, I always hated that I didn't know how to behave like a person who is easily liked by others, like the two of you can. And because of that, I spent so much time thinking about my own behavior and all the wrong things I said. But the whole time, I should have been thinking about other people instead, not myself.
Because we're like a weird but wholesome family.
Once I started doing that, I was able to make friends with everyone else. Oh, also, I discovered that sometimes I'm a better communicator when I take the time to write rather than speak.
Truly, a literature
It's so
artist
strange
at
the
heart.
way things turned out. So far different from anything I ever would have expected. But I'm happy. I suppose we don't always know what we really need. Sure.
Oh my gosh.
Go on. You die what you want, but you blind to what you need.
You're so cute that I'm gonna throw up.
Please don't.
Please don't throw up.
Please don't.
You're right in front of... Yeah. She's right in front of you, Sayori. Please don't throw up.
Yeah, that's Natsuki's thing.
Okay, please don't do that, Sayori. There you go. Besides, I'm not cute.
Objection! Like, no, seriously. What are you on?
Hey, isn't that my line?
Oh, isn't that cute? They're already sharing each other's lines.
Oh,
Everyone does that. So by that logic,
well,
we're all
for
in
me,
a polygamous relationship.
well, for me, it's actually true. So, I don't.
Natsuki, you only realize that now?
Huh?
Oh my god, you are so cute when you're clueless.
What are you saying?
There's the cute fang and everything.
Nothing.
Liar.
I finished my part. So, somebody else take their turn, please.
My heart.
Fuck you two, stop being so cute together. You're going to give Sayori a heart attack.
I think I'm gonna throw up again.
Sayori, take some deep breaths. Keep your stamina.
Okay, fine. I'll go.
All right, Gremlin, the floor is yours.
Yuri, I can't believe you were complaining about doing this and still went before me. What a show-off.
Still a tsundere to heart she is.
I was just following up on Sayori. It was the easiest way to get it over with.
Natsuki's totally the top, isn't she?
Besides, you left out the most important thing. You get out of this.
Well, if Yuri was on top, she would crush Natsuki. So I did.
Yeah, a regular supply of your favorite cupcakes.
So that's her code word of saying me.
Oh no, I forgot that too.
Her cupcakes bring all the girls to the yard.
I'm a traitor to the Cupcake Queen.
Oh my god.
I think Sayori is broken.
Sayori.exe is encountered the problem and needs to close.
Neither of you are forgiven. Looks like only Monica will be getting cupcakes next time.
Oh, personal supply of cupcakes from moi.
No!
Damn, that might be the most heartbroken I've seen Sayori in a while. Oh wait, I can't eat that many cupcakes. It'll go to my thighs.
And then you'll blow up? Yeah, true. Only Yuri can.
Wait, how do you know that? Oh,
Well, anyway, I'm just putting off talking.
oh my god, you two have had private cupcake sessions.
It's kind of hard to talk about this stuff.
You fooled me.
But I guess what it comes down to is that I'm in a much better place mentally than I was when I first joined.
Aren't we all?
I'll think about that.
I mean, you can't speak for the rest of us.
And that's because everyone helped me realize that I had some really toxic friendships going on outside the club.
Ooh, right.
And your home life.
Which we seem to constantly dodge out of talking about, since I do wonder if even the main writer wants to go there.
It was honestly a really painful thing to go through, having to cut them out. It still hurts to think about.
I'm sorry, Natsuki.
It's fine. I knew it was for the best. And I was right. I guess for me, it's all about feelings. I was only ever ridiculed for having feelings, so I thought the right thing to do was just to ignore them. It took me a really long time to realize this is not really how things are supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's thanks to everyone that took the time to respect my feelings, even when I was being like the biggest jerk.
It's alright, you went through character development, and that helps.
I'm really sorry for being such a jerk to everyone. I really was the worst.
Natsuki's voice chokes a little. Also, hi, narrator.
Yeah!
where'd you
Yeah,
come
it's like,
from?
you've been. What the hell?
I'd have had to hold the fort for you. I would hate to have to delete the narrator.
We love you, Natsuki. Who are you talking to, Monica?
Oh, no one of consequence.
Just hate that I was
The
like
narrator
that.
is Arlene Izunia.
Yes.
Everyone did so much for me, and I could never do anything in return.
Well, you could make a cheesecake. I mean, that's not true. Natsuki. You've done a lot more than you think. This club really wouldn't have been the same without you. I mean that. I wouldn't trade you for the world.
Also, I forgot if we mentioned already, but why is Natsuki's theming these sounds a lot like a Spyro level?
Huh. Remember how judgmental I was when you first showed up?
The bass isn't quite Spyro-y enough.
Yeah.
It was like I couldn't accept anything other than my own idea of what a literature club was supposed to be.
Plus the percussion's not as fast.
Apparently, that was more important to me than the opportunity to bring you some happiness. You really taught me that anything that makes someone happy is worthy of respect. You even inspired me to start playing piano. That's something that means a whole lot to me. One of these days, I'll serenade all of you with my latest and greatest. So there's no need to put yourself down.
Which means suffocate.
Hmm?
Okay.
Sorry, what was that?
Nothing.
Natsuki wipes her eyes.
You helped me a lot too.
We
It's so
all
much
did
fun
it
to have you
together.
around.
Because we really are Doki Doki heroes.
Well, actually, that line is from Adventure 2, so
And you helped me become a better person.
We really are Sonic Adventure 2.
nah, that doesn't work as well.
Having a problem doesn't make you needy or inconvenient.
So that's what we are, some sort of Doki Doki literature club.
With the way the sprites are right now, it looks like Sayori's trying to hold her hand.
Oh, time it happens, yes.
Who would play the girls in a live-action adaptation, I wonder?
No, I don't really want that. Like I would like an anime of this, but not live action. Please, thank you. I agree. See, Yuri agrees with me. See? Seeing as how some of the same struggles, maybe a better person as well.
We all suffered and overcame it together.
I wouldn't want to change anything about our time here. See, it's like relationships are complicated or something. I don't think any of us would.
I'm sorry I got all dramatic again.
You know, I know this has all been like cute, wholesome. We've had some healing, that's great, but I also don't trust this game.
That's all I wanted to say, so...
I know,
Monica can do it.
right?
Well, there is something that I had to mention after this particular, section is over.
There's no need to apologize. It was something I wanted to talk about. Anyway, because it made a big difference for me, I will say it's going to be incredibly tragic if it turns out that this is a prequel before Monica was made self-aware.
Again, just wait for this. Go on.
I was always such a strict perfectionist who never took enough time to believe in anyone else. But everyone kept proving me wrong. I made the mistake multiple times, thinking that my way was the best for everyone. It was to be my way. Or thinking that I was needed to solve everyone's problems. But I think being a leader means you have to acknowledge that you're not perfect, and that the best thing you can do is to help guide people, rather than do everything for them. Reach into the choir there, sister. We're all good people. We're all equals, united as one.
Hey, that's the title of the episode.
Till all are one, as the Transformers would say. I think that's the most important thing I've gotten out of the club. Realizing what that really means.
Mm-hmm.
Realizing that all of you really are real to me. Oh, Sayori, what are you doing? Wait.
I just thought that we should be writing some of these things down.
But those are my emotions laid down bare.
Things about the club that are valuable to us.
Which is applicable, true.
With a piece of Gary chalk in her hand, Sayori writes the word trust on the chalkboard.
Just do you trust?
This is because you showed me that I could trust you with everything about me. Not just my good side.
Aww.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Suddenly, Yuri takes a piece of Gary chalk as well.
Gary Chalk.
She writes understanding.
I don't get it.
Gary Chalk, the guy from Sonic who also showed up in the movie.
I owe a lot of gratitude to everyone who took the time to understand me, even though it was so difficult for me to express myself.
Can Natsuki reach up to the chalkboard?
Yes.
Also, Gary Chalk also voiced Optimus Prime at some point.
I gotta go grab a footstool.
Monica takes a piece of, Gary chalk as well and writes the word respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Tell now what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Monica, this is a feels moment, not a sinking moment.
Is this where you've been learning to play on the piano?
Yes! I always thought I was a respectful person, but it took the club for me to realize that there was more to it than I thought. And I'm a better person because of it.
Should be a shame if I went insane and destroyed all of this.
I have another one.
But I have a clean bill of health, so I should be just fine so long as my entire
Sayori
worldview
writes
isn't shattered.
stuff.
Sometimes people want different things out of a friendship. Or they need time before they're ready to become close.
Indie games got me nervous for no reason. I hate it.
Undertale changed the world.
Nah, Java.
Oh, long before that one.
Actually,
Honestly.
Cave Story was basically setting things up.
Mhm.
Oh, right, I guess Cave Story is technically an indie game.
Well, technically it's
Yes,
one of the first.
it is.
Made by a single person.
So it's important to keep things balanced between you and the other person.
I just sometimes forget with how many re-releases that game has gotten as a full now
That
published
game is as old as
You're right.
2003.
That reminds me.
Yuri writes reflection.
I've always been a reflective person, but most of it has been nothing more than hating myself for all the things I thought I did wrong. When will my true reflection show, though?
Oh, cool! We're all quoting songs.
Once I started reflecting on other people, and not just myself, a lot of things changed for me. So I think that's the most important one for me.
That's great. We have a whole list of things now.
Suddenly, everyone turns to look at Natsuki with very judgmental eyes.
Wow, everyone took all the chalk! Don't look at me like that! Jeez.
Susie!
Come on, Natsuki. I'll even hold you up if you need me to.
Listen, Tio, that girl's parents don't feed her either.
Ooh, what nutrients do you get from chalk?
Calcium, I believe, actually.
Oh, wait, yeah, and people have actually eaten chalk. You could have just asked.
Monica hands her piece of Gary chalk to Natsuki.
It's a
Here
pebble!
you go.
You gave me a pebble!
Then Natsuki sighs and writes self-love.
Aww.
I don't know how far I've gotten with it yet, but... it feels like things are at least on the right track.
You have to love yourself to love others.
So there's my contribution.
Drops chalk.
Thanks,
Also-
Cinderay.
Also
Never-
double-checked, and chalk that actually does contain calcium. So yes, that.
Everyone stares at the words on the board.
Wasn't this club supposed to be about literature? Feels like we're turning into an anime about wholesomeness, togetherness, and therapy.
These are words. Words can be put into literature. Write
Come
something
on,
based off
Monica.
this. There you
Boy,
go.
Boy, I'll tell you this, English class in college sure didn't feel like therapy. If anything, that was just more stressful.
It is. We still do a lot of literature.
Like, look at our text boxes. We've been reading those, right?
What, your Tokyo?
Friendship and literature and magic.
No, I'm not even finished that. I know already. God
Back in the
damn it.
basement.
Let me out!
Yeah, you're right. Also, what was that disembodied voice you were just speaking to, Sayori?
Nothing.
Just moves the desk over a hole.
Oh, okay. Because you see,
so
Sayori
Q
knows.
is the protagonist of Silent Hill 4?
Yes. All right, let's all take a picture together.
But I thought this
Just-
was the literature club, not the photography club.
We don't have one yet, right? Well, we need a profile picture for the yearbook.
Hey, you're right.
Now, which of us is an ace photographer?
Me.
Really?
Yeah.
Make sure you send it to me after.
I read like a whole bunch of manga about people taking photos.
Wait,
I
can
wouldn't be
I
surprised if there's a manga for that.
brush my hair first or something?
No.
You have long anime girl hair.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, you already have the best hair out of
Stop
all of us.
complimenting each other, you two.
Tio, you know, it's to help set the mood for later.
Well, when everyone dies, because we can't have nice things.
Let's see if they can make it to the end of this video all alive. Everyone get together. I can't fit you all in.
Natsuki, stay up front because, of course, you know, better for you to notice.
Okay.
And then Natsuki gets Mike Wazowski'd.
I was tempted to actually put with the logo on it just for kicks, but no, got too cruel.
And click. I'm really glad we talked about this stuff, and nobody died.
I thought it was going to be the end of the game taking the picture.
Well, it's close enough still.
I thought there was gonna be more. Ah, damn it.
Well, Chidori, the game's not over yet. Hold on.
With only 4 members. And yet,
only
with
4
those 4 members, it feels like we've risen.
Yeah, 4's a good number.
No!
Indeed it is, especially in Japan. Well, thankfully,
Yeah,
we
Jova,
take...
tell that to Guido Mista, then we can talk again.
I have so many happy thoughts right now.
Well, hey, it was a good number for Final Fantasy.
And Mega Man.
And Mega Man X.
And Battle
Not-
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, no, not for Battle Network, sadly.
I'm getting some really good inspiration for a poem.
Oh? Might I like this inspiration? You know, I feel the same way. I kind of want to get some writing done, if you know what I mean.
Me too.
Yeah,
Is
why
that
don't we
what-
go writing
is
over
that what-
in the closet?
Is that what the kids are calling it nowadays? I
Yes.
think I would like that as well. Ooh,
Oh,
my.
perfect, free! Natsuki?
Everyone's looking at me again.
Come on, we don't want to leave you out of the writing session.
I'll do it too, but I might not feel like sharing it.
Wait, how does that even work? In order to do it, you have to share it.
She's creative. That's okay. There's plenty to go around. Maybe
The
she
4
just
members of
receives
the
but
literature
doesn't
club
give.
disperse and return to their desk, each equipping themselves with a pen. It's a
Nobody
+3
did
critical
anything
rate, I guess.
weird with any of the pens, right, Yuri?
Natsuki and Yuri give each other a quick glance, then starts writing immediately.
I know what they're writing about.
Sayori stretches, then does the same.
But what about Monica?
What about Monica?
Jeez.
But Monica is left tapping her pen against the paper, unsure of where to start.
Sayori.chr delete.
How everything I knew was a lie. Just move your hand.
Don't say it, Monica moves to herself.
Right the way into your
God
heart.
damn! This is the closest to a title drop we got with this.
A slogan drop.
Her mind full of thoughts, memories, and inspiration, Monica navigates past her mental barriers and begins to write. We get to the scene from 2001 where she travels through hyperspace with a monolith. Doesn't matter what, just that it's something new.
Yes, new.
Meanwhile, across the echoes of the hall, the screams of Anson Teal resonate, referring to wanting to be left out.
And it's remixed into
And
this
that's
funky
it.
groove.
Yeah!
There you go.
Hey, look at that! Everyone survived!
There's actually we're actually gonna get one more
Well,
thing
post-credit
after the
scene,
credits.
But still at
so-
the end. But yeah, just to mention quickly, a popular fan theory that I kind of subscribe to is that, again, what officially the mail do state is that unfortunately this is not a prequel, but ideally a scenario in which the AI of Monica was essentially trapped in order to test the conditions, ideally. The fan theory that I subscribe to is the idea that this takes place after the vanilla game because of a couple lines mentioned. Cheekily, Sayori mentioned that when she comes to the little club to join, she finds Monica, just Monica, and she's just leaping, almost as if she basically got teleported to that point. So the fan theory basically says that after the reprogramming resetting from the devs, the Monica that was from the vanilla game is actually put at that point, and this, despite the fact that she's still trapped in a game, is basically the closest to a good scenario that she can get for herself.
So ironically, in that case, you're suggesting that the scientists actually took pity on Monica and decided
not
to
necessarily.
give her...
Remember, this is all just an experimentation from the in-universe dev teams. So
No, I'll admit, my personal theory was also that this was a sequel, but more so in the sense that, again, Monica probably set up this new world where she can properly participate,
mind you,
but she wiped her own memories of the past stuff as a way of punishing
your
herself.
friendship and literature.
Maybe something more.
And now what we got, made by love by Team Salvato and Sonority Forge. We got the company that actually made this new version, and we get the photos that the girls took.
Is it not the cutest selfie you've ever seen?
With a blooper. You can access that to the wallpaper, just say it added in.
Yes, cute.
You know that this is not technically a prequel because they do mention the festival properly. By the time we get there, the characters do not really have personality that do match with the ones of the vanilla game. But it's easy to spot where is the turning point, as in the moment where Monica and Natsuki, put their differences aside, as in the moment where Monica writes the composition to the piano. Because at that point, at the time of difference in clashing personalities and everything, do match actually what the beginning of the game is, and it also matches what the characters are currently doing. Monica just learned how to play piano, which will come into play later. Yuri and Natsuki are still relatively insecure to themselves, but are actually still more close to Sayori in some capacity, which is the heart of the team, So, in a way, I can kind of get the idea that this is essentially going the extra mile, but overall, this is just, you can tell that this is just essentially to have a satisfying scenario in which nothing relatively goes wrong, aside from the local conflict, and instead to have, having the character enjoying some time together.
If I may, one other thing that does point to this potentially being a sequel, remember one thing Monica pointed out, that a lot of the darker aspects of the girls, those were things that she added, or at least she messed with the game's data enough to the point where it would get to that point. Like, Sayori originally was not supposed to be as depressed as she did turn out to be in the version of the game that we play. Yuri was not supposed to be a masochistic, crazy yandere originally, and Natsuki supposedly was not supposed to have such a terrible childhood with such a terrible parent. So part of me does wonder if this is sort of like a recovered version of the world after it's been deleted by either Monica or Sayori in the end. But as a result, some of the scars left. Yeah, that's right. You did mention that apparently Dan and his team may have been hinting at more to come.
Shiroi did posted a video that explains a lot of the IRG stuff and the and stuff, so I'll put that link in the description, for people to see. So basically refer to that. Anyway, final thoughts. Dwebs, tell me, this has been past a bit of time, tell me what you think of first of the vanilla game, and then of this addition for the fast version, and if you feel the price is justified for a title like this. Because remember, the vanilla version was completely free, but this one got released for, I think, $20-25.
No, actually 15, around 15.
Okay, and it goes also... There you go. Go ahead, Weebs.
All right, to talk about the base game, it certainly does its job at being very, very unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, even in the bits that aren't explicitly horror. Hell, the base game actually made BBC News around here.
Yikes! Yeah.
Yeah, for hiding the horror underneath a dating sim. I do like the best part of the game, actually. I think it's the music. bearing in mind it was done by one guy who did like almost everything else. And he came up with a few really good tunes. Like my favourite ones are the thing that plays while you're picking the words for the poem, and the ones that you get during certain cutscenes where you're just chatting with one of the Dokis, as some people call them.
Yeah.
The graphics are, well, I don't know if I can call them graphics. The artwork. The artwork's pretty good, especially more so the character designs, because the rest of it is just school and neighborhood. I mean, it's drawn well. It's just that's just that. The horror stuff, I've mentioned it before, but I'll go a bit more into that. Okay. I mean, obviously the more well-known ones are the quote deaths of the characters when they come up. I'm surprised that they didn't give one to Natsuki or something. Like I thought I mean, I know she gets deleted when she runs off to be sick, but if you're gonna do one for every character, that is the moniker, obviously. I'd have thought a horror one would have been. I mean, you've already had someone kill themselves by hanging and stabbing. So I'd have thought the one for Natsuki would have been, I don't know, murder or something.
Yeah, where she murders the protagonist.
Or she gets murdered herself
closest
by
we got
an
is the
abusive
fake.
dad.
The closest we got is the fake ending where she snaps her own neck. That's it.
Yeah, that's usually the go-to people go for Natsuki's crazy bout, essentially. But yeah, I do agree. I always found it weird that Natsuki didn't get her own thing in that regard. Like, I wonder if Dan was afraid that it would get too repetitive at that point, but I don't know. I feel like we could have gone one more. Although I guess at that point in story, the justification of having the club.
You also have to remember.
Members.
You also have to remember that once again, the original game was done by a person with not too much experience in making a visual novel, with no real budget to speak of, because it was also free to play anyway. So you can also excuse the fact that it was still limited in what they could do.
It really is amazing how he got to this point.
If there is a negative I can point out, honestly, I think while the moniker taking over the literature club thing starts off pretty strongly, I think honestly, I think most of the dialogue she has as she's talking to the player after the initial reveal, honestly, I think it gets pretty dull.
Which, admittedly, if you do feel that, you are allowed to delete her as soon as you want to.
Yeah, you can do that. In fact, you even got one of the wallpapers from that, if I recall correctly.
Like, dang, imagine. She goes through all this trouble just to talk to you, and then you immediately kill her before she even gets to say a thing.
I mean, to be fair, she did kill at least 3 people.
I guess it all comes down to the perspective of what do you consider real in that regard.
As for the plus, I'm not quite sure I'd have priced it at £15. Let me check the PS Store.
It gets on sale regularly with us, so it's also even a case of, considering most people, did play the original, so they're stuck with the PC version anyway. That's where they probably get it, and because Steam allows its games to be on sales for cheap easily, very frequently, you can easily find it at $2 if you wait for the right time.
Around here, it costs £9.79 at the time of recording.
If I recall correctly,
is it on sale?
No.
If I recall correctly, they did lower the price at some point.
Oh yeah, well, that's because
it has been a while since it's
okay, never mind. I might as well make a correction. Yeah, for Libs it's $9.99 because it's pounds. For us, Teo, it's €12.49.
And it even got a physical edition. Granted, it's not a big game in size, so it's easy to fit on a Blu-ray, but still.
I'm wondering if that's the equivalent to $15 over here.
So yeah, I mean, just check the price. Yeah, I do think it's worth £9.79. And the side content that you get, I think the best one is obviously the the AU stories of the of the cast sans Handsome Tio who's probably died being buried underneath that floor at this point.
Like, it's pretty much a complete alternate route, or again, potential sequel to the original one.
And yeah, I actually do like the little stories involving each of the cast. My favourite ones being the ones about Sayori and Natsuki.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say the others are bad, but I just prefer those two.
Sure.
Anything else I can mention?
Well, you mentioned about the music for the vanilla version. What about the remixes that we get? Since those were actually not done by Dan Salvato himself, but by the team of remixers that came through.
Oh yeah, I like those. I like those too. Maybe not quite as much as the base game, but they're still enjoyable.
If you have a keen hearing, they do something similar to what Birth by Sleep did, and the detached parts of the main theme, core theme of the actual game into 3 different, four in this case 4 different separate versions that reflect each of the characters. It's pretty clever. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's it. Is it?
All right then, Shirai.
All right. Yeah, this is a great one. I like the original music and the remixes as well, because I think Dan himself has said that he's very much a beginner musician, at least at the time of the original game. But I thought the songs were still like nice. I thought it was a nice deconstruction of the visual novel genre, considering it. Well, the dating sim visual novel genre, I should say. Because I think Dan and I both have pretty similar feelings on that particular visual novel kind. The characters are all really fun, even if most of them are pretty terrifying. Actually, Natsuki's the only one I'm not scared of in the base game. So it's like, yeah, we'll just get out of here and leave them to it. I feel like you can definitely enjoy this game without knowing about all the buried stuff.
Oh yeah, like, legit, honestly, even if Monica didn't do her thing, it could have still been a quirky, a tongue-in-cheek take on the genre.
This is where the modding community also comes in, because there have been a lot of fan games that try to explore different possibilities. We mentioned stuff like Natsuki's Father. There is actually a fan game that actually, dwells more into that.
And yes, almost half of the time, if not more, Monica is aware when a mod is used.
Thankfully, it doesn't
That's
really.
funny.
Thankfully, it hasn't really snowballed into madness like the Undertale AU community. Thankfully, but
oh boy,
there's still a decent enough amount of number of stuff you can find.
I think my personal favorite is Doki Doki Abridged.
I haven't seen it. Continue, Shiri.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of the mods for this one, actually. The side story stuff was very meaty. Like, I'm surprised at how long each of these stories was. And honestly, I didn't know where they would place. Not as far as theories goes, but more, would this be the base game with stuff sprinkled in between kind of thing? I didn't realize they'd be their own separate thing entirely, like each of them. I don't know any theories about this part of the game because I haven't looked up anything deliberately. So I'll have to look into stuff now that I've seen everything.
Well, like I asked to Dwebs, do you think the price is justified to you for the Plus version, considering the stuff that's added? Okay.
I mean, the physical version was a bit more expensive because those cost a bit more to produce. But like £15 for the Plus version, yeah. I mean, considering the amount of content, because the base game is already plenty long enough, and then you have several hours from the Plus stuff like put on top.
Well,
Plus,
in your case, according to Dwebs, it's £9.79, not even 12.
Oh, it's more the equivalent.
It's
Pedro.
the conversion.
Remember, the pounds are still technically the highest in terms of value. worldwide.
Given how terrible the conversion rate is for US dollars to pounds.
Right now, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely worth it. I think they did a great job with this, actually.
All right then.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, actually, I'm curious. Has Alice actually tried this game on her own?
No.
Alice is more into fantasy stuff, not so much
But
suburban
it's
stuff.
not that. There's stuff in here that I will not show her.
All right then.
Okay.
Pedro, you're next up. Actually, let me open up with a question. I know it has technically been a while, so I can guess already what is your answer, but just as a rhetorical question to give an answer since we posed this. Has Vanessa actually finally tried the game of her own?
She played through the Plus version with me, yes.
So did she like it?
Yes.
Cool. Go on.
Did you say
well-
also that the characters grew on you over time?
I never needed the characters to grow up on me because, as I was about to say...
I don't know how much you did, joking, but remember, Sayori was not exactly green.
No, that was just me joking. Because I like I said, well, I have to make the joke convincing, otherwise it won't have any punch.
Don't worry.
So
I understand.
Yeah, I was
fair,
going to
that's
say, I
fair.
remember Pedro enjoying the base game quite a bit, so yeah.
like if
Okay.
if I make it too obvious, it loses punch. So
That's fair.
where what? Yeah, no. That's not even a matter of question because Doki Doki Literature Club is a visual novel masterpiece with brilliant writing and fantastic characters and an excellent concept. You know, the idea of creating a psychological horror game disguised as a dating sim is a brilliant idea. And the execution is flawless as far as I'm concerned. The extra stories attached to the Plus version are also brilliantly written. And yeah, basically the music is good. I really like the character designs. Yeah, I don't really have any issues with this actually. Like I've said, and you can go back to our run of the original Vanilla Bro. I even had a moment, like you can actually pinpoint the moment where I fell in love with the game because there's a moment if you go back and check. I forgot which part it was, but there's a part in the original where I literally start laughing and say, "Oh God, this game is brilliant." But yeah. It's absolutely brilliant. But no, trust me too. Like Vanessa loved this too. You know, in a certain way, it's very different. But I can see some parallels with Don't Toy with Me, Miss Nagatoro, whereas that manga / anime started off as it made you think it was going to be about something, but then it sneakily becomes something else. You know, and again, it takes great writing skill to pull that off, and both that and this pull off excellently. So yeah.
How does it compare to the dating sim game that also doubles as a tax form writer?
I'm sorry,
I haven't the biggest clue what you're talking about.
me neither. Sorry.
There's legit a dating sim game that helps you do your
I
taxes.
can imagine it's present. I just don't know which one it is.
I have no clue. Sorry.
There's another one I'm gonna reference at the end, but are you done, Pedro?
Yeah, pretty much. This is this is a very boring Final Thoughts for me because I have literally nothing to say that hasn't been said already. So
Sure. All right, Java.
Yeah, no, it's a game that made waves, and it's easy to see why. Like, even if dating games aren't your thing, I'd say this acts as a good gateway to them. Well, also, if you're not into them, definitely pivoting things another way. And hell, even for the Plus version, I'd argue it's still kind of a dating sim, just not for the actual main playable character. Because the shipping fee will be high out there. But no, all joking aside, this game is remarkable. Again, given how the guy went from making Smash Bros. Mods to this, like, no hint of this whatsoever, just out of the blue. But it's a goodie. It's got great and clever writing, very entertaining characters. And yeah, it is a shame when these characters die. Even the big villain Monica, who, yeah, while Monica initially comes off as selfish, it's interesting to see things from her mentality that as far as she is concerned, everyone around her is fake.
Again, it's like that episode of Gravity Falls Season 2. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe they made the dating sim episode into a full game. Insert joke there. But, yeah, no, like, it really is interesting, though. Like, if you were in Monica's position and, like, everything around you was just repetitive, constantly the same, yeah, you might crack too. And apparently it turns out the club leader position is jinx since, well, assuming you get the bad ending, Sayori loses it too, to the point where Monica has to come back in and save you. And that's after she's learned from the error of her ways.
I cannot pinpoint what the origin exactly is, but the idea of a character in a fictional media not necessarily breaking the fourth wall, but treating it also as an eldritch revelation, as in you realize that your entire existence is nothing more than essentially a farce for other people's amusement, of higher beings, higher understanding. Again, that kind of madness will probably, not make you do rational things, and I get that the fourth force has been Monica again. For something that is a bit more not clever, but a bit more sophisticated of that, read the Run of Animal Man that Grant Morrison did back in the day, because it basically does kind of like this, but it essentially talks actually about the themes of a bomb biolo when a character discovers their respective author and everything. But no, like again, Monica is the kind of complex character that is absolutely evil and her actions cannot really be condoned, but you can tell that she's doing it because she has absolutely no other choice. One small trivia that people have noted, one of the final scripts that happened while she's being deleted is a failed command where she's trying to literally exit the OS, and in a sense she literally tried as a last attempt to actually exit the game and try to get into the real world, failing, obviously.
God, imagine if she had succeeded.
A funny story about that, not necessarily for this game, but another indie developer that we did cover in the past just without you, Jova, Daniel Mullins, have done a couple of more games since the game we covered, Pony Island, and one of them, called The Hex, talks about potentially video game characters potentially exiting to the real world, but that's a story for another day. Continue.
Interesting. But yeah, no, the main campaign is great. For what they added for the Plus version, yeah, I'm gonna say it's worth the $15, because honestly, okay, yeah, there's the extra stuff like, the pictures, the photos, and the email stuff, which adds an arguably potentially even darker and more sad twist to things. But let's talk about the main star of the extra content, that being what I consider the sort of sequel that kind of makes sure that it gives these characters a happy ending. Because one thing about the main campaign, good or bad ending, the game effectively gets deleted. Monica doing it to stop Sayori's rampage, or Sayori doing it because...
There's nothing else, though.
Yeah, in that regard. Which is admittedly a bit of a shame, because one thing I have taken notice of, while Monica claims that nothing else was real, we see several things that bring that into question. One, Monica still cannot bring herself to actually truly forever get rid of her friends, and she does still regard them as her friends. What's more, despite, her friends supposedly all just being scripted computer events, some of them did clearly have different reactions to different situations. Some of these, yes, were manipulated by Monica, but let's think about when Natsuki found Yuri's corpse after Yuri killed herself. That was clearly not something that Monica had set into motion, because even Monica was a bit surprised. Not so much by Yuri killing herself, but, well, by the protagonist still being there in that regard. And then we get, well, again, how the characters function after Monica has been deleted. Which, if they were just, mindless computer programs, surely they should have acted somewhat remotely, but they clearly do have some different takes there. So I think while Monica did come to the conclusion that Steph wasn't real, one has to wonder, were the girls also gaining sentience along with her?
You have to
Or was
remember
it
again
truly
what
always
the
real?
mail in the RG stuff says. Remember, this is not necessarily. This is technically in universe just a game distributed to the masses, but that it's also these guys to basically essentially be an experimentation of sentient AIs and potential human experimentation done by this mega corporation that is experimenting upon. Again, there's some. This is what we see even in the story that we get to consume us. Seems to be more just a mirror behind which there's something even bigger that only time will tell what its right entity is.
But yeah, the main big thing of the extra stuff, what I effectively call the sequel, again, it feels like it's just a bit of side content, like, oh, maybe you're seeing how the club got started or whatnot, but then it does grow beyond that. And then you start to see certain things that, again, if this were just a normal playthrough, should arguably not be there, like Sayori's depression, Yuri's issues, and okay, maybe Natsuki's dad issues or whatnot. Yeah, that's the one that they play a bit coy on. Like,
But remember, the big difference is the fact that the difference between each member of the club actually get resolved because the characters, instead of being aggressive to each other due to Monica tampering, actually now have the time to talk with each other and, playing their divergences.
well, the thing was, in the main playthrough, we got a clear sign that, yeah, something was not right with Natsuki's dad given her poem. But in this one, I don't think her dad ever gets mentioned at all.
Yes, she does. One or two times, but he does.
Okay, is it like in the negative, which definitely suggests
Again,
he's still doing
it's only
that?
implied. The biggest that we got is Natsuki mentioning that her father is not really happy when she comes home with bad grades. But it's very vague the way she mentions it. Again,
So
Timmy
What
drops-
she does say is definitely not positive, but maybe not as negative as the original
Timmy
game.
drops
implied.
theorize, but again, it's more of a case that it's her. Again, similar to Psychonauts, her perception of her father is potentially overbearing, and this is what Monica, exploited during the vanilla version of the game.
Wouldn't that be ironic if her dad's actually nice? It's just because Natsuki has such a negative opinion of herself, she ends up projecting that negative opinion to the point where even the people who should love her hate her as far as she herself thinks, when that is not the case. Which, admittedly, would be an interesting take instead of the usual, parental abusing. Not
Like
to
I
say
said,
that there isn't
Psychonauts did
material.
something similar to this back then.
Yeah, again, not to say that there isn't potential with that, but I would be interested in that take. But yeah, no. This stuff here, what we get for the side material, I'll admit, in sometimes I actually like it more than the main game. Again, that's not to say that the main game isn't great. Oh no, it's brilliant still, but some of this new material, and admittedly, part of that is that it works on your knowledge of the main stuff, but it is just nice, and yeah, I'll admit, I'm a sucker for a well-earned happy ending, because, yeah, that's pretty much what it does feel like. Monica, sort of subconsciously atoning for her actions by making nice with her friends and actually legit having good wholesome times. In a sense, all of them, in a way, having their own redemption. And I really do like how we can go from funny to serious in relatively well-rounded manners. In no part due to the fantastic writing, like, okay, I'm not to say that Dan wasn't already a good writer, because again, we got the main game, but man, you can feel the improvements here. And also the dozens of bones he throws to the fan base, because holy cow, the shipping fuel, man. He knew what his audience wanted, and boy did he deliver. So yeah, Doki Doki Plus is an amazing enhancement of an already fantastic game. Highly recommend you get it. Which leaves you, Tio.
Yeah. Again, I really enjoy this. I don't think I mentioned too much, but in case just to set things properly. My favorite anime that is not strictly an original tale or based on a manga, but instead is an adaptation of something, is instead the anime version of Higurashi no Nakokoro ni, or Higurashi When They Cry in English. Mostly because it's kind of slightly similar to this, just in a less meta sense. It starts off with the idea that it's supposed to be a proper, friendship and, friendship visual novel. Even the game might basically do that. But it quickly develops into this mystery horror that you don't really know what it's supposed to be. Is it scientific in nature? Is it supernatural? Is it something that was attached to the war? Is it gonna have a sort of a Layton-esque twist, as in it feels to be supernatural, but there's an actual logical explanation behind it? Who's behind that? And throughout all of that, you get attached to the characters that normally would be properly the ones you will interact with, and you just wish for them to succeed and actually have a good time. Mind you, when the anime had moments where I wish I would forget, when they try to have instead a scenario where nothing bad happens, but because of that writing it's just awful, and looking at you, Kira. But what I'm focusing on is the main stuff. I still have to catch up with a lot of the more recent series. But the two main series, the first one and Kai, capture that from the games. And this is not too different. It's very interesting to see this point because while I don't think I hate them, I don't particularly care for romantic-related visual novels unless they have a particular type of, not necessarily twist, but setting or things that you do that tends to accompany them, that tries to elevate, the mundane from potential boring reality. If you follow Linkar for a very long time, we reviewed a game at some point called Shodengeki Striker, which does something similar to this, but unfortunately, it has a few very, very awkward and inappropriate things typical of Japanese game that gets criticized, that makes me actually don't want to even touch that game that in football. But that has the idea at its core in mind, instead of being still, a visual novel that just happens to have more ludicrous supernatural stuff instead of being just, very simply, I'm the new transfer student at school and I need to meet some cute girls and potentially romancing them. Like, sure, there is an audience to these kind of things. Dan Salvato mentions that in the golden ending screen anyway. But I'm not part of that, sorry. But again, this game manages to make it work, although it is a bit of a one-trick pony. Once you get to know the twist, replayability doesn't really factor too much in, although playing it from time to time is still, good enough.
You're mainly replaying to get the good ending.
For example, one thing that I discovered only recently when recording this, if you fast forward almost the entirety of Act 2, as in after Sayori commits suicide but before Monica takes over, you get a couple of jump scare that the game actually tricks you into falling into if you just keep the entire dialogues. The game has a certain level of catching you off guard if you are not careful. And again, all of that for the vanilla version for something that was completely free and kind of came out of nowhere. I honestly don't even remember how this became completely famous. Probably because the idea of Dan Salvato being a popular name in the Smash community, so people would spread word and it quickly, evolved. Because it's kind of similar to what happened to Undertale. And nobody particularly mentioned much about the Kickstarter when it was going on. But as soon as the game hit release, people immediately spread out like a wildfire. And it kind of happened the same with these two. As for the Plus version, yes, I totally believe it's justifiable, the price, not just for the side content, but also for the fact that it integrates the translation. And I can tell you that they're not the fan translations that were done back for the vanilla version. These are new from the ground up with proper touching and formatting. Again, the side stories on their own provide a level of talking and discussing very heavy themes that are certain to one way or another relate to the player in some capacity, because again, any of us has experienced either from looking at another person doing that or as ourselves having these particular themes that this character go through, you know, having a toxic relationship with a group of friends, you know, experiencing depression, potentially being toxic to someone else and not even realizing that it's too late. Again, this is why I still advocate that the Silent Voice anime adaptation is still a good movie overall, because it still does the same thing that this does in terms of talking about the themes. But can I say else? Again, the music. The music is also pretty cool, both in the vanilla and these remixes too. It falls into the Super Mario Land 2 syndrome that Pedro noticed when we recorded that, but it's mostly just the main thing repeated across. But it does the job that it's supposed to do, you know, and it plays up with some of the jokes that they put here and there. But again, it's also there's this kind of balance in terms of fun and fear that Dan manages to write. And again, this coming from a person who was just modding Smash Bros. Brawl. Where was this talent hidden? It just was in plain sight. Very amazing, actually.
Teo. Riot 2, he said it best. Not everybody can be a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I also had to mention something else that you guys probably do not like, but I kind of have to, because part of this run is also owned to that, and that would be the Game Grumps run of this game. I know that for the rest of you guys, Erin is basically the Antichrist, but I cannot help it. The Doki Doki run is actually one of my favorites of that channel. Just a couple of them, like Shadow of the Colossus, but Doki Doki actually is included in that. And I took the liberty to borrow some of the jokes, like the name of Handsome Teo is deliberately a call to how they named the character there, friend Erin. So there is that, for better or worse. My point being that I really enjoy this game. I cannot wait to see what Dan actually comes up with next, you know, because if there's something that people like Daniel Mullins showcase to me, is that if you let these single indie devs, or just with a bunch of small people, develop their particular story, they can actually come up with something very interesting. Like I said, we only did minus usual, but the rest of us did comment on just Pony Island, which does contain some meta elements, but with both the Hex and recently Inscription, that has actually spiraled into a very, very kind of interesting meta narrative on its own. So I do wonder if Dan can actually replicate this on its own. But anyway, that's basically it. I'm sure I probably forgot to mention something that I was supposed to do. I'll probably take notes another time. But for the time being, when it comes to visual novels, Sonic has a train to catch at some point, from what I heard. But as for me, I cannot make promises for the immediate future, but I'll try to see if it works. But tune in eventually instead for I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good adventure, I think it's called. An official visual novel officially endorsed and completely given for free by the KFC Corporation. See ya.